YouTube, how the fuck you doing? Hey guys, Nadeshot back here, and I have some S&D sniper gameplay for you guys. But today's not gonna be much about the gameplay. Um, I'm gonna continue the story about my mom. You know what? The past day or two, I've been speechless though because you guys have been giving me like the most warm reception I could possibly ask for telling the story. Uh, Most of you know it's pretty difficult for me to talk about. But I, honest to God, I see all of you as friends, and you have no idea how cool it is to be able to talk about this and not get flamed or trolled or whatever. So I just wanted to thank you guys for that. So where I left off yesterday was my mom having her first seizure. I think I was like 12 or 13 at the time. I had no idea what was going on, so as you can imagine, I was crying my eyes out. I was freaking out because she had a grand mal seizure. Grand mal is the biggest seizure you can have. So I mean, she was moaning, she was convulsing, she was drooling. She was Her eyes were in the back of her head. She was. I just. It wasn't a good sight. And she finally got taken to the emergency room. She came out of it for when the ambulance came. Came out of the seizure. After a seizure, you're kind of out of it. She had no idea what was going on. But after that, went to my grandma's house, and everything got explained to us about a week later. They don't know why she had the seizure. So it kind of just life went on after that. About 6 months later, when everything sort of calmed down, I was in school, and I think I was in sixth grade. I remember I was in Miss Casper's sixth grade science class, and I got a call down to the office, and I usually take the bus home. So I get to the office, and the woman, she says, "You know what? Your grandpa called. He's gonna pick you up." And my heart dropped, and my stomach turned over. I wasn't sure what it meant, but I knew it couldn't be good because they never do that. The only time they ever do that if there's an emergency or something like that. So for the rest of the day, I was dreading the end of school because I didn't want to hear what happened. And my grandpa picks me up, and I immediately ask him what's wrong. And it seemed like he didn't want to say anything, but he said, "Your mother had a car accident, and she's in the hospital." And I asked him what happened, and he said, "Your mom had another seizure while driving. She crashed into another car about right down the street from school, or from your house. And it probably the worst feeling, just such a horrible experience. Like, you guys, I can't even imagine. It's something I'll never forget. I just can't even explain it, but she broke two vertebrae in her back, and luckily she's not paralyzed or anything, but she has really bad back problems now. So from here, we kind of figured that she had epilepsy, which is the disorder where you have seizures. So this is going to go on a tangent, but for the past couple of years, they've just given her medicine after medicine. Some things didn't work. Some things slowed her mind. Some things, just so many different side effects. And still, that was still like the beginning of her problems. She also is hypoglycemic, which means she has a low blood sugar. So at any given time, like, her sugar will bottom out. And what happens when your sugar gets low is a lot of people have different like adverse reactions. And my mom, her reaction was she didn't know what was going on, who she was. I remember being, like 14 years old, walking downstairs, and my mom was like looking under pillows for my aunt. Like, my aunt lives in Texas, so immediately I knew something was wrong, and it's such an eerie feeling. Like, "Mom, what are you doing? Like, what's going on?" And it's just such a fucked up like something that you never want to see. You know, it's your mom. I was a little kid. I didn't know what the fuck to do. So time went on again, and I just remember being. I still get the goosebumps, but especially when I was younger and these were things first happening. Every time I heard an ambulance go off, no matter where I was, I had to call my mom. I had to go use a public phone, something, and make sure that it wasn't her. Like, I was just terrified of the idea that my mom could have had another seizure. You know, anytime I got a call at school, uh, anytime I heard an ambulance, like I said, like, I just didn't know what the hell to do. I just freaked out. And it was at a point where my parents thought I should see a psychiatrist, but I really didn't want to do that. So I just didn't try not to think about it. But again, it was the summer. I was 15 years old. The summer, my mom had another seizure. Grand Mal, she fell, and she got a concussion along with the seizure. I remember the night. I just remember all these days specifically. We had Domino's pizza, deep dish, and for a while, I thought it was a curse. Like, don't ever order deep dish Domino's pizza again because that means my mom might have a seizure. There's so many different things running through my head, and I didn't know what to do. Luckily, since then, she hasn't had a seizure, but she still has so many problems. She actually has rheumatoid arthritis now, which is a debilitating physical disease that takes a toll on the body. And she'll wake up mornings, she won't be able to move. And she also has sleep insomnia, so she can't sleep that well. And before the first seizure, she never had any problems like this, which is why I'm baffled. And when I said that comment on launch, I don't have a mother anymore, I did that commentary when I was really angry because my parents got in a fight. You know what happens when my mom, she gets in sleep insomnia, and this is where it comes from, where I said I don't have a mother anymore. Obviously, I love my mom, and I wish never, you know, obviously she's still alive, and I'm sorry for anybody who's lost a parent, but sometimes it's just so hard to just live with her because you go to bed afraid waking up, like which person am I going to see tomorrow? Am I going to see my old mom, or am I going to see the one who is so whacked out because of all the medicine she's on and then not sleeping? She's a completely different person. I don't know who she is. I mean, she still functions in everyday life and things like that, but like I wake up and I don't know who she is. I can't even explain like the concept. So I didn't want to come off as harsh when I said that. Obviously, I love my mom to death, and I would never want any harm to come to her, but it's just so hard when you've known this person all of your life, and it's like you can't get her back. Like, you wish you could just wake up and everything be back to normal, but it's not. That's not how it works. No matter how hard you pray or how much you hope, she's not going to come back. So it's at this point where she'll go for a week and she'll be all right. She'll be fine. That's my mom. And then for the next 3 weeks out of the month, it's this person that just is living in our house. And I mean, this commentary is going to go a little long, so I'll put in some clips or something. But that's really the story behind my mom. And there's a lot more things that happened. Like, she had carpal tunnel. She got fired from her job. She worked at a hospital. She was a secretary, but she got carpal tunnel, where that's a disorder in your wrist where it's hard to move, and she had to have surgery. She fell into a crawl space and hit her head. That was before all the seizures. Some doctors think that might have caused it, but I appreciate you guys listening. I have a Sniper Day Taj being released tomorrow. It's going to be pretty big, so if you enjoy it, please like and favorite. Sorry, guys, I'm sick. But that's about it. I appreciate you guys watching, and YouTube will see you fucking later.